When the New Testament speaks of speaking in tongues, the terminology that's used, I mean, what a tongue, what a glossa meant was a language. Now, as long as it's a language that's intelligible to God, that's what matters if we're praying in tongues. So, the important thing is that it's communication the Spirit enables us to have with God, for those of us who do that. But at the same time, the word is languages, and we see in Acts chapter 2 there were people present to actually recognize these languages. That's the only case in the Bible where there were people present to recognize them. It's happened sometimes in history since then, but 1 Corinthians speaks of having like a gift of interpretation, of being able to understand what the tongue means. Now, sometimes people have divided in terms of, does it have to be just a human language, or can it also be an angelic language that's not intelligible to any human beings? And they base that on 1 Corinthians 13:1. And actually, Pentecostal scholars themselves are divided on this question. It's not a matter of Pentecostal versus non-Pentecostal. Exegetes across the board are divided on this question as to what is meant here. My own sense here is that Paul is probably speaking hyperbolically. That is, he's using rhetorical overstatement. Just like he speaks of faith to move mountains, not to say that it couldn't happen if it were necessary, but we don't have very many examples of that. Jesus talks about it, but it's probably rhetorical overstatement to drive home the point. He speaks of having all knowledge. He's just speaking of, if I could speak in all these languages of human beings and of angels, still if I didn't have love, it would be nothing. Now, even though he's speaking hyperbolically, there's no reason to rule out that it could be a language that's not specifically known to people. But all we know from Scripture is it's a language not known to the speaker, and it is a communication, it is a language.